Hello everyone, welcome to another TCG Talk video, and today we are back with another deck tech that I've been working on for the past couple of days, honestly the past couple of weeks, just trying to have fun with. Since the Tales of Arya set came out, Briar has been one of my favorite heroes to play, other than Katsu, who I've been really enjoying as well, and it was kind of like my original main hero. Briar has been the one that I think is super interesting because there's so many ways you can play it, right? And with Lightning and a little bit of Earthbriar becoming insanely popular, right? I think it was 7 out of the top 24 in the UK Nats was Briar. You know, everybody's wanting to either play her or figure out a way to beat her. This video isn't to give you like tips on Lightning or Earthbriar. This video is to give you a different Briar build that I've been having fun with. I haven't tested at like a super high level, right? Like this is just another way to build Briar that I think would actually be really good and might be worth testing out at your local armory event. Maybe you're not going nationals, but you're wanting to look for more creative ways to play Briar. This way is kind of good. It's an all RuneBlade build, so there's a couple lightning cards in here, like Electrify, just to kind of help proc some extra damage. But other than that, I'm pretty sure Electrify is the only lightning. Yep, the only lightning card I have in this deck. Everything else is either a RuneBlade or Elemental RuneBlade card. So key takeaway with this deck, the main point of this deck is to get mid-level rune chant creation, right? Like not quite as much as Viscerai, but like one step down from like a mid-level Viscerai deck. Giving go again to your attacks through Mauvern Skies and through lightning tokens. And then being able to create 1 to 2, maybe even 3 Earth tokens a turn. So basically you're getting the same rune chant and damage output as like a mid-range Viscerai deck, but then you're blocking more efficiently because you only have to block with one non-attack action and maybe some equipment even on a high attack coming at you because you created 2 Earth Embodiment of Earth tokens. So that's what I'm trying to do here, is just be a little bit, basically a slightly more efficient blocking Viscerai is what I'm trying to be here effectively, because I think her lightning and earth tokens can basically put her in different comps where she basically can do the same thing that another RuneBlade hero does, but do it more efficiently because she blocks better and she can get go again from her attack. So getting right into it, I don't personally own Arcanite Skullcap, so I put in the sideboard, but here you'd probably want to use Arcanite Skullcap. That way you can have more block, but if not, Crown Dichotomy is really good because you can bring 2 cards back into your deck from your graveyard, 1 attack, 1 non-attack, and it has Arcane Barrier 1, so it's really good for that. I'm using Rosetta in this build because ideally what I'm wanting to do is non-attack action, attack, non-attack action that gives go again like Skies or something like that, then attack action, then do another non-attack action, creating a lightning token for the next turn, and then attacking with Rosetta. Most of my non-attack actions have go again, if not all of them. I'm pretty sure I don't have one that doesn't have go again. Yeah, they all have go again. So if I can give that first attack action go again, then play a second non-attack, then play Rosetta, I have a lightning token for the next turn, and I've attacked basically twice. Hopefully creating a couple rune chants, so Rosetta is hitting for maybe 2 physical and 3 arcane or 4 arcane, right? So it's really useful for that. For the chest piece, I'm using Bloodseed Skeleton, Grasp the Arknight for the arms, just like Viscerai. And for feet, this is kind of where you can go one of 2 ways. Spellbound Creepers, I have found playing Briar either pops off and you get like 3 triggers with it, or it does nothing but block for 1, and that's it. So you can do some testing between Snapdragon Scalers and Spellbound Creepers. Eventually, I'm going to go with Spellbound Creepers, I think, just because this build right here does a little bit more arcane than most builds. So it's a little bit easier to pop Spellbound Creepers. However, the good thing about Snapdragon is you can play any card after that attack action, whereas Spellbound Creepers, you have to play a non-attack at instant speed, right? So it kind of limits you a little bit. So it just depends on your build. I think Spellbound Creepers, honestly, is a little bit better for Viscerai, but it's definitely useful in this build. So you can go with either one, really, on that. Getting into the deck, I split this exactly through 30 non-attack and 30 attack action cards. For non-attack, Sonata Arcanix is awesome. I'm never going to pitch for this. I'm just going to play it and draw 3 cards. Hopefully get an attack in hand and deal 1 arcane damage. Just to start chipping away and get that extra attack. I run a full set of Mauvern Skies because every attack in here is a RuneBlade attack through some way, shape, or form. Either it's an elemental RuneBlade, which these count for, or it's a regular RuneBlade attack. I thought of also putting Rites of Lightning in here. It's not in here currently, but I might end up putting that in here as well. But I run a full set of skies to try to. You basically skies, not only does it give your attacks go again in this build, but it kind of forces your opponent to block out a little bit, especially when you play red skies, because you're going to create 3 rune chance on hit, and for them that sucks, right? If you play like a red skies into any buffed attack, it works really well. So it's really good for that, and it kind of forces them to block out. And most of the attacks in here hit that 4 break point, with the exception of 2 or 3. So you're going to force basically 2 cards out of hand if they don't have a defense reaction to prevent that arcane. And then when you come in with Rosetta, they're not going to really block it because they can't afford to really. So there's that. I play Electrify. I like that from the Tales of Aria set. Again, similar to Skies, it kind of forces your opponent to block out. They don't want that extra 3 damage to proc. If it's played from Arsenal, it draws a card. And if Electrify hits, that's another Earth token. I messed that up when I first started playing Briar, but because it makes the card deal 3 damage to the hero, that's another Earth token, because this is a separate instance of damage from the card that dealt damage. So if Electrify hits, you create 2 Earth tokens, count it 1 from the attack, 1 from Electrify, and you're doing extra damage. So it really forces them to block out. You could also think about doing yellow Electrifies in this deck, but I tried to have as many RuneBlade cards as I could, and you'll see why. Oath of the Arknight, I love this. Your next RuneBlade attack this turn, that's very key. Make sure you read this correctly. Your next RuneBlade attack, not attack action, attack, this turn gains +3. This is really good if like you draw 3 non-attack actions and defend, like you just draw the dreaded like 4 non-attack actions. Pitch, play Oath of the Arknight, get +3, and then play Rosetta. Rosetta now hits for 5 because it's a Runeblade attack, and you create a rune chant. So if you draw 4 non-attack actions with Oath of the Arknight, play Oath of the Arknight, pitch for it, and then play Rosetta, you'll create a rune chant from Oath of the Arknight. Now you're playing Rosetta for 4 and 1 essentially, or 5 and 1. Sorry, because 2 plus the 3, so that's 5 physical and then 1 arcane. That's not bad for drawing a 4 non-attack action hand. So Oath of the Arknight's really good for that. And it's just really good to buff most all of our attacks in here are Runeblade through some way, shape, or form. I didn't do Sutcliffe's research notes. I love this because almost all my cards in here are Runeblade with the exception of 3. So when I pop this, I'm almost always going to create 3 rune chants. And I played my non-attack action for the turn, which is going to help proc Rosetta later in the turn to do the 2 and 2 instead of just 2 physical. So I really like this as well. Plunder Run, pretty obvious. Play it from Arsenal, gives +3, and it does that draw mechanic. If you notice the theme here with a lot of my non-attack actions, they basically give buffs to my attacks that almost force my opponent to block out, and then you come in with Rosetta later for extra damage that they can't really block, or they don't block you out all the way. You create an Earth token, you create some rune chance, and you keep going. So it puts your opponent, similar like an Aggro Katsu, in a weird position where they have to choose when to block out and when not to. I run Arcanic Shockwave, pretty simple. Singeing Steelblade. Drawing a Dark Dimension is really good because if you can give this go again with Skies or a Lightning token, then you play this. Even if it costs you the full 2 because you haven't created any rune chance, you draw a card and it has go again. So you pitch to play it, you play it, and then you draw a card back up. So you basically just regain the card that you just pitched to play this with. So it's really good for that. You could even run this at yellow, but I don't like the 2 attack. It's too easy to block with equipment. So I at least want to only run red. Consuming Volition is really good for this deck. If you've already dealt arcane damage this turn, maybe you played an attack with go again before it. Then you play Consuming Volition, and if it hits, it makes them discard a card. Again, similar to everything you see in here. This is similar to like a how do I put this? Like a Lightning Lexi or an Aggro Katsu, where it has a lot of on-hit effects, where it's creating rune chance, whether it's discarding, whether it's creating embodiment of Earth tokens. Like you're forcing your opponent to block out completely, and it puts them in a weirdly weird position. Arcanic Crackle is great, 0 cost, 3 and 1, and if you add rune chance to it, then it's really good. Spellblade Strike, I like the fact that it creates a rune chant token afterwards. Meet and Greet's really good because you've already dealt arcane, it has go again, and it creates a rune chant on hit, again, forcing them to block out. Spellblade Assault is really good. It's 2 costs, which is a little pricey, but creating 2 range chants on the back end is really useful. Amplify the Arknight is the one I'm kind of on the fence on. I might end up taking this out for like another Runeblade attack that's more efficient. Maybe another John of Dark Dimension. maybe another Arcanic Shockwave at yellow or something like that, just because it's really good because it's 6 physical, but I don't want to pay the full 3 for it. Most of the time I won't have to. I'll probably play 1 or 2 with this build, but it can get a little pricey depending on what you're doing. Even a blue Vexy Malice would be really good because you still get that 2 Arcane, which is what you want. So it all depends on what you want to do. And like Vexy Malice is perfect for this deck because when you play an attack action that does Arcane and physical, the Arcane counts as an Earth token. So if they block out this, but they're not running Arcane Barrier 2 and Null Rune 2, one of these Arcanes is going to hit, which is creating an Earth token. Obviously, only dealing 1 damage isn't ideal in a turn, but hopefully this has Go Again from Skies or from a Lightning token, and then you play Rosetta. So it's really useful for that. So you could even switch out the blue Amplify or the red Amplify the Arknights for maybe blue Vexy Malices, and it would be a good trade. The last 6 cards in the deck, I did Tome of the Arknight. Pretty obvious card. Try to draw 2 and continue your turn with more cards in hand, and it helps proc again the non-attack action that you need in order to give Rosetta 2 and 2 when it attacks. And then finally Sting of Sorcery to give just that extra instance of Arcane for all of our attacks. So yeah, that's the deck. It's 30 attacks, 30 non-attack actions. In the sideboard, we have Ether Ironweave, which is really good. I prefer Blood Sheath, but Ether Ironweave isn't bad either. And then most of my sideboard is like the blue Vexy Malice I talked about, and then the 6 defense reactions. I'll run these against like a Bravo, or against any deck that's trying to go super tall against me. And usually I'll sub these out for like a pump spell. I probably would end up subbing these out for whatever non-attack action gives the least on-hit effect. Probably I wouldn't sub out my blues. It's really hard to know what to sub out. It really depends on the matchup, to be honest. But I'd probably sub out Suckless Research Nodes, and then Electrify if I was going to run all 6. If I'm just running 3, I'll probably sub out the notes for it. Because I want to defend more than to try to create those 1 or 2 extra rune chance. So yeah, this is the deck. It's all RUNEBLADE. I think it's really good. It has pretty good Go Again. Not quite as much as a Lightning Briar, but it's like 1 step below. It's really not too much worse. I think your attacks are more efficient because they're not just attacks to create Earth tokens. They're attacks with on-hit effects and Earth tokens on top of that. So your opponent really has to block out and they don't have a choice. So this might be really good for that. I'm going to be playing it this week and next week and a couple weeks after. See how it goes. Let me know what you think of the deck. If you think it's good or you think it might be viable, try it out. Let me know if it works for you, if it doesn't work for you. And then also, give me suggestions that you would add or take away from it. And, I just want to kind of play around with Briar and see the different builds you can do with her, because I think she's really a versatile hero. And I think that's why she's so good in the meta right now, is because people are starting to really figure out all the different things she can do. But yeah, if y'all like the video so much, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you didn't like the video, that's fine too. No worries at all. You can even hit this like button if you feel so inclined. Yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. Please let me know what y'all want me to build in the future, and I'll keep trying to build the good quality decks for y'all to think about and give y'all new stuff to do. But thank y'all so much for tuning in to TCG Talk, and I'll see y'all next time. Thank you so much.